Welcome back to Stories from the River. I'm your host, I guess your guest host, Stacey McCormick. I'm the Executive Vice President of Retail Performance, also known as Coach. You'll hear Charlie and other people refer to me as Coach. I love that, actually. It's the first time I've ever been called that. It's really, really cool. But we are here and we're talking about a recent C4 training class that we had, the C4 process, which is foundational for how we want our guests to experience our stores and the experience we want to give to our guests when they come in the store. And we feel like our C4 process separates us, and there's elements that definitely separate us from the masses. I read this book by Robert Cialdini, and it's called Pre-Suasive, P-R-E-S-U-A-S-I-O-N, and I'm sure that we can drop that in the show notes, but what it really talks about is the nuances of being a great salesperson or leader, and those things are language. It's not, some people say it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. Well, I happen to believe it is what you say and how you say it. So, and that's what the book teaches. The second piece is timing. It's when you choose to do things or how you choose to do things. And there's specific timing laced all throughout our process so that we're right there in the right spot for the guest when we need to be. And we're saying the right things in the right timing. And it takes practice and it takes a process to be able to do that. And then the third thing, and it's really has a 1A, a 3A and 3B. The third thing is it's positioning. It's both mental positioning. We got to have the right mindset. Selling is 95% mental. So when we're talking with our guests, we have to stay in control of ourselves. And it takes the right mindset and the right mental positioning to be able to do that. And then the next thing inside 3B is physical positioning. So we have to be in the right spot and do things the right way to help our guests feel more comfortable, to lean into really I joke, and I'm a little bit of a country boy, as you can hear, like I lean into like it's brain science, like it's things that I don't know, I'm too simple to probably understand, but what I know is that when you put people in the right physical, or when you put yourself or people in the right physical positions, sometimes your message will land more the way you want it to. And the one thing I can tell you about every memory maker at Broad River Retail is that we don't want to take advantage of any guest. As a matter of fact, what we want to take advantage of the responsibility and the weight of really being authentic with our guests. So there's a big difference in those two. So we want to be such a good partner that we become their person. Like, professionals are like my doctor or, my dentist. We want to be my furniture representative or my home furnishings person. And that's how we teach it out, because we just believe that connection with a guest is so powerful. Charlie, in the first episode, took you through the 4 elements of C4. Number 1 is connect. So connect. What is her story? So we want to get to know in the connect, we want to get to know the guest. And really and truly what we want to do in the connect is we want to earn the right to hang out, right? Like you go in stores so many times and you get hit right at the front door by somebody who's like, I don't know, just overbearing. All they care about is making a sale, all of those things. And look, we care about making a sale. Sure, it's how we make our living. However, what we know is that she came there on her own free will. I have a way of saying it. Basically, I say is she knows exactly where she is and she knows exactly why she's here. We didn't force her to come here. People don't fall and trip into a furniture store. So really and truly what we have to do is we have to break the stereotype. So the way we teach the connect is to really do that and really to be able to earn the right to hang out with the guests, so that because proximity is power. And when you're around someone, then you can help influence. And that's just a major thing, because the furniture can't talk. We have to give it life. Other than that, it just sits there, right? So that's the first part. The second part is customize. Well, when you start thinking about people coming into our locations, they have a vision. So customize. What is her vision? We have 4 things that we really look to customize. We look to customize product. Every room is different, every need's different, every desire is different. So what we want to do is we want to customize the product and that experience for the guest. And we do that. We've got some really strong ways to do that, but the strongest way we have to do that is through really drawing the room. And when we talk about drawing the room, we have the guests draw the room out for us, which really kind of becomes this collaborative, highly persuasive piece where we're leaning into the fact that she's there on purpose and she's there with a purpose. And when we can come into agreement with that, then it kind of diminishes the old salesperson and versus customer role, where it's kind of this, they're running from us and we're chasing them down, to where we're really sitting on the same side of the table, really leaning in, collaborating with each other, and it creates such an amazing experience for our guests. And we've found that it really separates us from the masses. And then the third part of the sales process is commit. What's her hesitation? So in that particular piece, what we're trying to do is we're just providing solutions. You know, so many people, when it comes time to close, they teach like, you want to be a hard closer. Well, actually, our close is called the easy close. And really what it does is the easy close just assumes that she's there to purchase and she's there on purpose. And then it gives her solutions and alternatives to be able to purchase. One of the strong ways we do that is through the 3X. Our 3X gives the customer buying options. In this episode, you'll hear our memory makers talk about the power of that. It's really cool. And then the fourth element is obviously the continue phase. And when we start talking about continue, what is her next room? What's her next project, right? But really for me, what the continue phase is extending the relationship. So we want to extend the relationship with every single guest because we don't just want them to be a one and done with us. When we talk about extending the relationship, there's really probably two ways to look at that. One is she purchased from us. So she purchased from us. Well, if she purchased from us, what's her next project? What is she going to do next time? And how can we connect with her so that we can become proactive and be her person, right? You know, when you go to the dentist, they set your next appointment. We just want to be like that, right? When you go to the doctor, they set your next appointment. That's who we are. We're professionals. We're not just like run-of-the-mill, dirty window salespeople. We are professionals doing what we do. And so this continue phase is really about being there to extend the relationship for the next project. But it's also, hey, she purchased. Well, we need to make sure that she has all the information she needs, that we've set the correct expectations for her, and that she knows that if something goes awry, how to go get that help she needs. Because people don't remember the issues they have usually when they purchase from someone. What they remember is the experience they had when they had an issue. So what we want to do, reduce the issues, but we also want to make sure that she has all the information and all the touch points and knows that we're there for her in case something goes awry. So it's really about extending a relationship with that guest and making sure that we're there for them all the time, every time. And then the other thing is if she gets out without purchasing, then here's what we know. Like, we want to have her information because we know she has a need. And we have these great events like secret sales and private events where really what we do is we take a micro donation from a guest and give it to a great charity, and they get our Black Friday price, right? So, but if we have their information, then we can offer those events up to those guests, and we can follow up, and we can be really, really good partners to kind of look out for their best interest and help them make that buying decision or provide that solution. By the way, while raising money for great organizations like Beds for Kids or Hope to Dream or St. Jude. I think in the last 5 years we've raised over $860,000 for St. Jude, and if you take the St. Jude Dream Homes and all, it's close to $1 million. That's amazing. And then through our secret sales alone, in the last 2 years, we provided over 1,000 beds to children in our communities that didn't have a bed to sleep on. That's amazing. That's just an awesome thing. So, but we have to be really mindful about extending the relationship, or our guests won't get those opportunities. Our communities won't get those benefits, and our team won't get that good, great feeling of knowing that, you know what, I'm not only helping someone furnish their life's best memories here in the store and getting furniture they're going to live their life on, but I'm also making a huge impact in my community. And man, there's no better feeling than know that you're doing this that's going to be, what you're doing is going to help someone else. It's just a very fulfilling feeling. Another thing about the C4 process is that, again, I told you I've written several of these sales processes through the years. And when I say that, let me make sure I clarify that. There's probably hundreds of people who actually wrote this process. I was just the one that put the pen to the paper, right, or the keys to the keyboard. It's all of the great HFCs, sales team members, leaders, training specialists, all of these people throughout my career who've done something really, really cool or really, really great that really, really worked, that I captured that. And I've always said this, like for me, usually there's probably 2 or 3 things that are original. Everything I do, I got off of somebody else. So when we think about this and we go through this process of creating a sales process, it's really a culmination of 38 years of experience and 38 years of coming in contact with just amazing people in this business. And several of them, and a lot of the iterations and the iterative changes we've made in the last 5 years have come from memory makers right here at Broad River Retail, because they do something phenomenal and we're like, whoa, wait a minute, tell me about that. How did that work? And what I would say is in my career, one of the things that's kept me relevant is I've never been the person that had all the answers. And I know that there's people that work inside of our business every day at the ground level who do. And I'm willing to open up and listen. So I don't come at this from an egotistical standpoint of, hey, I wrote this program. What I would tell you is, yes, me and a bunch of other people wrote this program, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm really proud of the success that we have through it here at Broad River Retail. And but I want to tell you one of the special things about this process, other than the things that I just explained a while ago, and that is this is probably the only sales process out there that has a personal and emotional connection principle to it. So we have the 5 principles of personal and emotional connection that we have in our C4 process. And those are, the first one is to connect and engage. A lot of times people say connect, and connecting is super important, but connecting can't happen without engagement, and engagement can't happen without connecting. The second part is to be fun, endearing, and build credibility. So principle number 2, be fun, endearing, build credibility. What does that mean? Well, number 1 is if you want to have fun, first you've got to be fun. Like there's a lot of people who say, oh, I want to have fun, but then they won't participate. Like it's got to be coming from us. Endearing. What is endearing? Endearing is treating people like they want what you got. It's really this theory around liking, right? And liking is so powerful. And what that means is that I like and I love the product that we sell. So I have to endear customers to my product. I have to endear customers to me. Here I am. I feel like I'm a pretty nice guy, but I want to be able to show someone that, and so, but you've got to sometimes think through how you show up, right? And so be endearing, but you got to endear product, you got to endear yourself, and you got to endear the company to the guests. Like we have a really special company here at Broad River, and we have a really special company with Ashley, our partner, right? So we've got to make sure that people understand why that's important and why they too should like it. And then the last one is, and that's number 2, is build credibility. Well, look, if I'm consistent and I'm really endearing, then what I'm doing is, and I'm fun, then I'm building, I earn the right to have the time to build credibility with a guest. And when you build credibility with a guest and you're authentic, then that will stand the test of time and help us get to where we need to get to. The third one, influence outcomes. Look, if selling is anything, it's influencing outcomes. We have to be willing to influence an outcome. The beautiful part about it is, though, when we look at it through the lens of persuasion, we're influencing an outcome that they already came to get anyway. So all we got to do is just come into agreement with them that they're there on purpose, and then we've got to be there on purpose, and then we can influence the outcome. People want what we have and what we have to do, and they want beautiful homes. Well, we got that. So we just got to agree with them and go act that way. And it will affect how we walk, talk, and act. And it's really powerful. The fourth one, we got to be urgent. And when I say that is urgent, not pushy. There's a difference, right? So being urgent says, you know what? I honor your time. I honor your time, I honor my time, and what you're trying to solve is important to you, so therefore it's highly, highly, highly important to me. And what that does is creates a level of urgency. And any study that you read about urgency says you're either complacent or you're urgent. But it also says, guess what? People want to deal with people who are urgent, people who bring a level of intensity and energy and intentionality to what they're doing. So it's an emotional and personal connection principle for us here at the River. And then the last one is, I think I said it a while ago, it's to extend the relationship. So when we think about this is in just our internal and external guests. Like, we want to extend the relationship. We want to make sure that we become your place, your person. And based on how we go about doing our job all the way through, we will either extend a relationship with a guest, or we will end a relationship with a guest. So we really are put emphasis on these 5 personal and emotional connection principles, because if you take my personality, those principles, the C4 process, and you meld them all together, what you get is you get greatness, and you get an experience in our stores that you will not get at other furniture stores and other mattress stores. That's what I would say, and that's why it's so important. In this episode, you're going to hear from Madeline and Ebony and Steve again, and they're going to lean into why this process matters and how the process sets us up for success and mutual success with everyone involved in the process, our guests, our memory makers, and even our company. So enjoy.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
I've worked in commission a lot, most of my working life.
This is my first time working in commission sales.
That there's a cutthroat environment. At least here at Broad River, we don't believe in that.
It was gonna be tough. And it's actually has not been as bad as what people have said it's been.
I think the fear behind the consistency of it, I think that if you're following the process and you're applying yourself, you're still gonna have a steady income. You're still gonna have that expectation of how much money that you're gonna be making on a regular basis.
The team operates as a big giant family and one that appreciates each other. So I would say that myth is just that commissions can be cutthroat.
Kind of you build your own business, and that's a really great part about it.
I think there's a lot of unnecessary fear around that because it is the unknown.
It's really important, like everything that we do starts with the
Connect portion from the jump is probably VIP kiosks.
Stacey said it best, like in order to have fun, you need to be fun. It's a mindset. It's coming ready to connect with the guest.
I'm very used to talking about VIP early. I'm used to showing them where the kiosk is, but actually going through the process and having them view their buying power at the front door is something that I've missed on, and it's exactly that, it's a miss.
Because if we're not connecting with our guests, it kind of shies from there. If you're not connecting with your guests, it's not going to be easy to sell to them. Not necessarily even sell to them, but help them build their space. If you're not aligned with your guests, it's going to be hard to do that with them.
There's so much power that comes from them knowing how much they can spend before they even start looking on the floor.
To put our best feet forward, making sure that when they come in, they understand that they're appreciated by us. And then making sure that they understand that we're people too, that this is a fun environment where we want to go ahead and help you create the dreams that you have for yourself.
I would say the best way to connect with the guests is step outside of where you actually are and connect with them on a personal level.
Authenticity. I mean, really showing up as yourself, not trying to be somebody else to get them to like you.
I think it's be yourself, be your authentic self.
I think that if you show up and you're having fun and you make it engaging, that's the easiest way to connect to somebody.
I think we do an amazing job here at Broad River Retail in hiring people that understand how important connection is. For us, it's not close, or heavy discounts, come in, buy now, and won't be here later. It's truly putting your heart out in front, making sure that you give an authentic approach so the consumer feels at home here.
Find something with that guest that you can relate to that's outside of the furniture.
Customizing is really catering to the individual that you're working with.
So customize is making it your own, making it the guest's own, and helping them realize something that they already like or something that they need, and then making it their own.
Customize is allowing us to take part in her vision. and what she has in mind for her home.
We essentially what we do that with Draw the Room, like the sectional that we're sitting on now. It's configurable, so whatever, helping them fit their space and doing that.
So it's not just having them come in and say, I need a sofa, and you sell them a sofa. It's learning, how can I build this sofa into your space? How do you live life in there? Do you have pets? Do you have children? What color are your walls? Help me visualize the room that you're in. And then when you know all of those things, you can truly customize their individual experience.
And us being able to be the experts to help her bring that vision to life.
Customization is how we are able to build their space, right? Everybody comes in looking for one thing. It's very easy to be an order taker and say, yeah, I'll sell you that one thing. But when you're drawing out the space with somebody and saying, okay, so here's the thing you need, your sofa, right? But what's going next to this? Are you doing a rug underneath to break apart the color scheme? Do you think we have room that we could do a little sitting area over here? How often are you entertaining? And that's how we're gonna add on into that space and then possibly even into other rooms.
So customizing for us means helping the customer bring that vision to life. So one of the techniques we like to use is Draw the Room, and it helps us establish trust, but it really gives us an idea of what the guest is trying to accomplish in her space, and then how we can help bring that to life.
During the customized phase, drawing the room with the guest is so impactful too, because it's letting you into the home of that guest on a paper.
It puts both the customer and yourself in their space.
Letting that guest know that you actually care about them, that you are wanting to help them, and helping them build essentially life memories, because that's where they're spending all their time in their spaces in their home.
Draw the Room is a way to instantly connect with the guest. We sit down with her and we give a consultative approach in connecting with her. So she does something for us, which she allows us to enter her space.
One of the biggest objections that we get is, I need to measure. So when you're drawing the space and you can say, do you have a 3-seater sofa here and a 2-seater love seat here with an end table? Well, if you already have those measurements filled, a sectional will fit in here perfectly. But being able to bring yourself into their space, it brings credibility to you to say, I know that this will, or I know that this won't work in your space, and it just creates trust.
And that's a really unique method that we have that allows us to establish trust very early on. She's going to go ahead and allow us to go and bring her dreams to life. So it allows us to kind of pinpoint what it is that she wants in the room and capitalize on building the ticket. Adding rugs, adding lighting, adding the ottoman, end tables, whatever it is that she needs, she'll tell us what we need to do in order to make that space come to life.
What we're doing with C4 is making sure that every person who walks through our door is getting the best experience possible.
So within the C4 process, with the first C being connect, talking about that guest sleep process is a way to connect with them. You're getting in with the guest to worried about their health. So anybody that's concerned about your health or your well-being, that's a connection. That's a connection value piece.
That means talking to them about all of the different things that we offer. Because if I don't bring up sleep with that person, and turns out they're on a mattress they've had for 15 years, or they have all of these aches and pains, they have a need that I could have helped them with, I'm not doing my job properly. So C4 just ensures that we talk to every single person about sleep so that we have more opportunity to positively impact people's lives.
3X is awesome because it allows us to set up different options for the consumer. So for here, we have 3 different options, one with long-term financing, one right in the middle, and then one with a 12-month option or cash price. So she can choose an option that works best for her price and her needs.
3X is probably one of my favorite tools that we have as part of the C4 process. It gives the guest options. It breaks down price. We talk about Diamond Care and Dash, which we mentioned before. So when we get to that process, as far as leading into the close, which we haven't necessarily gotten to yet, it's easier for the guest to come to a buying decision. We're able to discuss making the purchase, which that's why the guests came to the store. They needed to purchase something, and we're just here to help them do that.
In today's day and age, 2025, she wants options when she comes into a store. So 3X allows us to be able to present that in a way that's transparent and honest, and it really puts the buying decision in her hands.
Not that it's unfamiliar, because I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the 3X pricing, because I've been familiar with it myself. I've just recently bought a car, and we are able to give options. But just so the guest feels like they have the power to make a decision, and that's not something that we're pushing on them.
I think it's important to follow the process because it gives you a roadmap for the things that you need to talk about with your customers.
Well, it's impactful for two ways. One, it's the external customer experience. Again, we don't believe in pushy salespeople. We want to be the type of salespeople or memory makers that provide the best possible experience. So C4 allows us to do that by being our authentic selves.
Following the process would, to me, mean coming in every day, ready to work, being ready to connect, and we are given this roadmap to kind of help us be successful.
It is very easy to get caught up in a sale and only focus on one or two things, or we hit the main categories, but we forget about the little things.
In continuing and want to be successful, we just follow the process every day, being dedicated to what we do every day, being dedicated to the guest.
For the internal customer, we know that when we follow these processes, you're going to make more money and have a better A+ life, as we like to call it. So we've calculated that if following these behaviors will add to income about $2,400 every 2 weeks, just by following these behaviors.
Having a process in place ensures that I'm checking off every box in my process, but I'm also giving every single person that I work with the same opportunity, the same knowledge, and the same experience. 2, individual goal, I'd like to sell $2 million this year. Business goal, I would like to get the flagship store over 8% in VIP.
Well, I've been a $1 million memory maker, but I haven't been an expert. So becoming an expert this year is something I'm really striving for. It's not a hard thing to do, too, but I've disciplined myself. I said, hey, I'm not going on no vacations until I've hit this metric. So that's a really big goal that I do have for me this year professionally with Broad River.
I would like to see the North be the #1 region in all of Broad River.
C4 is going to help me achieve that goal. As far as what me want to hit expert is me really leaning into the process and being consistent with it.
For me personally, understanding the process at a high level means that I can go back to my team and not only lead by example with the customers that I'm working with, but I can also coach to it.
Because it is a roadmap for us being laid out, if we're not consistent with it, that does play a factor in our success, and you can tell it in the numbers in my paycheck.
Oh, because it completely gives the roadmap on how to get there.
So if I'm watching my team and there's a miss, or they come back from the 3X and they don't know how to overcome an objection, I can coach them with the things that I've learned with a process that they're already familiar with, to make sure that they're doing the most business possible.
If you're not consistent with it, it shows.
These behaviors show success. And the more that we can implement them, the more that we can train and practice them, the better our teams will be from it.
One of my biggest takeaways is consistency in doing the process. Like I mentioned, it's very easy to get away from some of these things when we're in the moment, when we're working on a big sale, but really looking at it from an overview of if I'm not doing the process with my guests, but somebody's doing the process with their guest is getting a better experience than what I'm giving to mine, and that's just not fair. So being able to look in the mirror and say, what can I do differently? How can I change to be better for myself, to be better for my customer, and to be better for Broad River? I think that's probably my biggest takeaway, is just the self-reflection portion and how I'm going to apply this within my day-to-day.
I'll really say all of it, a little bit of all of it, just simply because Stacey is so passionate about what he does, and he really pours that into us, and every time, like there's a C4 every time, I'm always ready to be like, hey, I'm ready to go back to work, like I need to do this. And he really believes in what he says, and he believes in us. He's been doing it a long time, so the process does work. We just have to trust it and be consistent in it. So it's really just, my takeaway is really just a shift in the mindset, because like I said previously, I'm trying to hit expert this year, and I can't do that not being consistent and not following the process that's laid out for us.
I think it's seeing the growth that's happening in the room, not only from learning C4, but the camaraderie that comes with the role plays, the ability to exercise these behaviors together. It's been really cool to see the North as a whole grow.
Oh, I love this question, with that being the new word. I would just say, help people in the way I can. Keep being the light to my coworkers, because I do get that a lot. Following the process, connecting with my guests, and showing up to work every day doing my best.
It's innovation, right? It's somebody who's leading the way. So for me, especially being new to the company and being new to the flagship store, flagship is huge for us, right? They're the anchor of the company. The flagship store in my opinion, has not been running the C4 process to a very high level, so we're missing in a lot of ways. So to be able to take this information back and to actively lead and coach to it, I think that's me pioneering in a way that all of the veterans might not be actively applying themselves, but seeing it firsthand and seeing the success that comes from it and the interactions with my customers, leading by example in that way.
I think the North is going through a lot of changes, and to just be able to be a positive force for them in terms of leadership development and self-growth, and being able to be an inspirational figure that they can go ahead and rely on is how I plan on being a pioneer.
My biggest piece of business advice that you could also apply to life is taking ownership. When I first started off in leadership as a general manager, I was only 20 years old and I had not been in leadership before. And it was very difficult for me to hold people accountable, to run the process. Everything was excuses. Oh, well, they were just looking. Oh, well, they just bought a mattress 6 months ago. Or, well, this person's not going to do it because of this. And my regional director at the time, Frank Pina, was sitting on the phone with me and he said, Madeline, I'm going to cut you off real quick. I said, okay. You have to have ownership over your business. This is your business. Start to finish, it's yours. And every decision that you make, how you choose to take the day on, how you choose to overcome interaction or overcome objections and interact with other people, it's completely up to you. So you can go in with the mindset that things aren't going to work and things aren't going to change, or you can go in and say, this is my business. I have full control over it and I'm gonna make the most of it.
Don't give up. And I will only say that because when I first got here, I didn't think furniture was for me. And outside looking in, people saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. And having that encouragement, and people keep telling me, like, don't give up, like, you got this. I would say, because we are in a professional environment, that would be the best advice I've got, just not giving up, because I can do it. I have done it.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. To watch this episode, go to youtube.com/@storiesfromtheriver. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.